Hello everyone. I'm happy to present our paper titled Gender Differences in Graphic Design Q&As: How Community and Site Characteristics Contribute to Gender Gaps in Answering Questions. Complex software, like Photoshop, have many commands that make learning them challenging. Someone learning such software has access to many online resources, often created by communities of users. For example, Stack Exchange and Quora are question and answer sites about many different topics, including complex software. But there are hundreds of other resources that somebody could use. Community-authored resources have obvious benefits for learners, but people providing content for these resources also benefit from several advantages. For example, these communities can serve as platforms to showcase skills and offer informal networking opportunities. As researchers, we have built and studied many systems assisting knowledge contributors. However, we realize that we don't know who exactly are the people that share software knowledge, if they're well supported, and how existing support affects contributed content. We start this investigation by looking at one characteristic, gender. We know that gender imbalances affect other online communities in terms of membership and content. So given the opportunities that knowledge contributors have, it's important that both men and women are given a chance to participate. We asked the questions: are there gender imbalances in software knowledge sharing communities? And what are the effects of such imbalances? Our first step was to pick a field to study. We picked graphic design for the following reasons. First, there are many popular graphic design software, which means there is a diverse pool of data that can be studied. We also found that gender ratios in a field and the degree it is technical can affect participation of men and women, something that can be seen in programming communities, for example. On the other hand, graphic design has a fairly similar number of men and women practitioners and has both technical and non-technical knowledge. So we set about studying gender differences in online graphic design communities using two studies. For our first study, we analyzed knowledge content about learning Photoshop, probably the most well-known graphic design software, to see if there are any differences in content submitted by men and women. We analyzed over 340 contributions total along various metrics. We then interviewed 11 women and 13 men graphic designers who use and contribute to learning resources. From these interviews, we learned about perceived motivations and barriers to participation by these graphic designers. For these studies, we chose to focus on two popular websites, Quora and Stack Exchange. We decided to study two websites to see if different community dynamics and standards affect participation and perceptions by gender. Unsurprisingly, women contributed less often than men, but the difference between genders was less large on Quora than on Stack Exchange. We tried to understand why and found that men and women have different perceptions of what is useful software knowledge. Here are two results that support this finding. Quora's policies seem to be more accepting of opinions than Stack Exchange's, and we did see more opinions on Quora. Our interview participants also said that Quora is more suitable for sharing perspectives. We therefore wonder if opinions are a type of knowledge that are highly valued by women, and if that is why they participate more often on Quora. Women in our interviews also expressed the fact that both communities lack social features. Previous work supports the idea that social environments are important when women share knowledge and learn. To summarize, even within a single domain, websites have an impact on gender differences. This is why the CSCW and HCI communities should study different websites to understand how design decisions and cultures can appeal to men and women. For example, we speculated that women strongly value opinions, so finding ways to better share and value opinions in software knowledge communities could encourage participation. One reason to study graphic design was for having a similar number of men and women practitioners, but there are other reasons for a gender gap. We should also consider the effects of gender imbalances with other factors, such as wages, level of education, and the number of people in leadership positions. Overall, we show the need for HCI and CSCW to further and to continue considering gender when developing and researching software learning communities. There are many exciting opportunities for working towards more gender-inclusive technologies.